High school football week number 9 in our area. We catch the James Wood Colonels on a bye week after last week defeating Fauquier in a crazy matchup, 34-33. As always, joining me, the head coach of the James Wood Colonels, Todd Wilson. And Coach, appreciate your time as always. I would imagine a very high pressure game in a close margin of victory by 1 point. Can you just sort of tell us what the emotion was like and what the game was like? I know there were a bunch of lead changes in the game as well.
Yeah, there was. It was one of those roller coaster kind of games. Felt really good early. Let them get back in it. We once again, had some opportunities. I felt like that we could sort of go up a couple scores, kind of put them away. We did some bad things on our end to shoot ourselves in the foot. We had multiple bad snaps that put us in long distances. We had roughing the punter, things that guys just shouldn't have been doing. So we knew Fauquier was a good team. I mean, we watched them play, on film against some other local opponents. They played extremely hard against Shenandoah. And we know just from years' experience that their kids always come in, fighting no matter what the record is. So we knew we were going to get their best that night. Thankfully we were able to, overcome some of our penalties and mistakes to pull out a victory.
So obviously you mentioned some of the stuff that sort of set you back. I would imagine going into the bye week this week, just touching on that, some stuff in that mindset, that aspect to try to correct come the next week against Liberty.
Yeah, absolutely. That and just getting healthy. We haven't had a full complementary of players, and I know a lot of teams haven't either. But 1 week we have our receiving core, but we're missing multiple offensive linemen. Another week we got some of our defensive guys back in the secondary, and we're missing a couple other guys on the line. So it'll be nice just to get healthy this week. Obviously, we're going to the focus on fundamentals this week in our bye week with getting healthy, and so we can maybe make a late push here in these last 2 games of the season.
So obviously, I just want to get your thoughts because I know the beginning of the season it was sort of a quarterback battle between Owen Neal and Adric Urish, but Owen Neal to Adric Urish sort of making a late game impact to seal the deal. How'd that sort of feel to have 2 guys that are younger on your team sort of make that impact late in this game?
Yeah, I mean, Owen's played well all season for us. He's come on late here in the last couple of weeks, using his legs a lot more. Some design, some him just ad-libbing and scrambling. The one really good throw he made to Adric, gave us a first down. He was flushed out of the pocket, rolled to the right. Adric did a great job of reading space in the field, got open, and Owen made a nice across his body throw to him. Which Adric made a good catch and gained a couple yards after contact. Can't say enough about both of those kids. They work hard. We were in the middle of a halftime, and Adric stepped up several weeks ago, about I think week 3, stepped up and went in at our slot receiver, and he's played both H and Z, both of the slot receivers for us at times throughout the year. He's played corner for us. He's also stepped into the role of free safety the last couple of weeks, and then he made a nice interception there, kind of get the ball back in the offensive's hands late in that game. So he's stepped up in multiple facets. Owen's continuing to play well, and those are just good kids and hard workers. So it's not surprising that they're starting to make themselves known a little bit late in these games.
And I know, again, it was a close game, a 1-point victory against Fauquier. And just looking defensively, what did you see that Fauquier was sort of kind of presenting to you? And were you able to create pressure? I know with the back and forth game like that, but can you talk about the defense and what you saw out of that?
Yeah, I mean, nothing really. They weren't doing anything schematically that kind of caught us off guard. We practiced for a particular look pretty much all week. We coached it up to kind of stop it a certain way, and if for some reason on Friday nights, high school football players, maybe they were thinking about homecoming too much, but they started doing their own thing. Once we, fixed it in the second half, explained to them what they were doing wrong, showed them on, the whiteboard, what they needed to do. We went out in the second half and executed that much better. So again, just correcting a few things there. It wasn't anything, fundamentally that they were doing. It was just us not, executing what we were taught to do.
So to this point, you have a pretty late season bye week. I know you touched on getting back to the fundamentals, the basics, but just sort of got to ask about your message to the team up until this point. And I know week in and week out, we've discussed how young this Colonel's team has been, but how does it feel in your mind as a coaching staff that you've already surpassed your winning total from last season and playing some pretty good football at times?
Yeah, I mean, that's it. Like we talked to him about, growth. And, I think I talked to you early in the season, our preseason interview. The expectation was to get better every week, to be better, week 10 than you were, week 1. And I feel like a lot of our guys are doing that. They're improving. We're getting better from week to week. We've seen some good things out of some young guys. I felt like at times, even in our 3 losses, we looked okay against those high caliber programs, the, Kettle Run, Handley, and Shenandoah. At times we looked good in those games and obviously, fell off towards the second half and things like that. But the expectation was, try to make a push into the playoffs. We wanted to, win more games than we did the year before. And that's kind of where we're at right now. We're looking to, get healthy and hopefully, have a good opportunity to win out these last 2 games and see what happens if we can get into the playoffs.
Once again, high school football week number 9, the James Roy Colonels with a late season bye in the week after they have Liberty after defeating Fauquier 34-33. As always, joining me, the head coach of the James Roy Colonels, Todd Wilson. And coach, as always, really appreciate your time. Enjoy the bye week.
Thanks, Josh.